Right, welcome to the first tutorial ever done on YouTube. So hopefully, this fingers crossed, no edits. We'll do it for first time. What we're going to do today is we're going to be packing up cars for GTA using QB Core. Not ESX because we're not using ESX, but we're going to be packing up two cars. We're going to get a FiveM ready car. We're going to convert that over to the new way of packing cars, which uses an FX manifest instead of a resource lure. And we're also going to show you how to use OpenIV to download a car from GTA 5 mods that's an RPF, and explain how it's done in a matter of a couple of minutes. So first things first, what you need to do is you need to go onto Google, download OpenIV. Once you've downloaded OpenIV from OpenIV.com, you install it. Select where your GTA install is. Once you've done that, then it's all installed. You open up OpenIV. You click OpenIV. Click on Windows, Grand Theft Auto 5. Wait for this to load. You basically don't need to worry about anything else in this section right now. I'll explain that in another tutorial video. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab the DLC RPF. We've got a Lamborghini SC 2020 that we're going to be opening up and putting into a pack. So basically, the first things first, what you want to do is open IV, grab the DLC RPF, keep that open, minimize that for now. Let's minimize Google Chrome. We'll go into the desktop and I'll show you what we're going to do. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a folder. We're going to name it, so for example, I'm going to do dynamo_imports 2. And then inside that folder, I'm going to create one folder and we're going to call it stream. And then the next folder we're going to create, which is going to be a data folder. This one's going to have all our vehicle layouts, metas, and everything to do with the car. The stream folder is going to have all your 3D files for the car. So you have your high YTD, your YTDs, your YFT, your high version and a low version, which is basically a high version of the car and a low version of the car, depending on what GTA textures you're using. So whether you're using high graphics or low graphics, those two are the two files. Sometimes it'll only come with one, don't be alarmed, but as long as you've got a YFT and a YTD file, those two files are low or free. I'll show you in a second the files that you're looking for. If you bear with me 1 second, just going to grab the FX manifest, the default one, for the cars when you're doing a pack, because I've made an FX manifest for you. So if we download that, if we cut that straight into the main root of the folder, so that's your folder layout set up. I can upload this so it's ready for you to download, and then you can just basically just bang all your stuff in, start the resource in your server config, and then basically just put the cars in. So the first example we're going to use is an RPF, which is the SC 2020. So once you've loaded it into OpenIV, you want to go into your data folder, which is where all your car calls meta is going to be. Actually, no, we'll do it the other way around. So you have to go into DLC RPF, go into 64, then vehicle RPF, and you'll find these three files. So you've got SC20.YFT, which is the low version, SC20_high, which is the YFT for the high version, and then you've got all the textures. So all the textures are stuff to do with liveries, your dirt maps, all of that stuff is all in there. You can view it in OpenIV, but we'll show you that in another tutorial, because at the moment we're just going to be sorting out the packs. So what we do is we drag the SC20 files into your stream folder, and that's that part done. That is your 3D files and texture files for that vehicle. The same with any other vehicle, you just whack all the 3D files and the parts to the car, like your mods and stuff, all in that stream file, and that's ready to go. And then what we do is we go back to the root directory of the DLC RPF, we click on data, we open our data folder, we create a new folder, and what I normally do is, best practice is to obviously set up the folder with the spawn name. So then if you ever think when you're spawning the cars in and you're testing them on the server, you know what the spawn code is for that vehicle, basically. Makes sense. So then what we do is we grab all the car calls, the car variations, DLC text, handling meta, vehicles matter. Whack that straight into that folder, and that's that card done. That's that card done. You don't have to touch it. Then what we do is we'll put that into our server, start the resource, and then we go in, do /car, SC20, spawn the car in, double check that it works, and then we'll go on to the next step. But first of all, we're going to go and we're going to show you how to convert an old version of the vehicle into the pack. So if you've got a FiveM ready file already that's got a resource file, we're going to put that into the pack as well. So what we do, we've got a Golf R, I think it is. I can't remember let me just double check what the name of the vehicle is. Telling you, a Golf Mark 7 stance add-on. Always use add-ons when you're downloading the vehicles as well. Don't do replaces because it just complicates it out stuff. But now what we'll do is basically the way that we used to do it is we used to put the car coals in the main root directory, and it's got a little bit messy when you're trying to pack cars together. So this is the reason why we do it this way instead. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the stream folder and I'm going to find the spawn name. So it's going to be BM Golf R. I'm going to go into my data folder and then I'm going to go BM Golf R. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the main directory. We'll get rid of the FX manifest because we don't need that because that'll mess things up. And then we just copy all the car calls and handling into that folder. Then we go back into the main directory, we go into the stream folder, and then we copy over all the 3D files. So as you can see there's 3 files. You got the high, the low, and the textures. Okay, so that's basically everything done. Now what we're going to do is we're going to boot the server up. So I'm going to close that down because that's going to confuse me. I'm going to go to XAMPP, which is what this should all already be set up for you. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grab my dev server. So we're going to go over to my data temp drive, and then we're going to go to my dev server, and then we're going to boot up the server. I should really put these in the dev server first, but we'll do that in 1 second. So if I copy the file over instead of and then what we do is we're just going to bang it in standalone for now, and then that should automatically start. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to Google, open another tab, we've got localhost 40120, and then we're going to wait for the server to start up, and then we'll put the cars in as well. Ignore the out-of-date version of TXadmin, that's fine. So once this boots up, should have took the close pack out. Let me just take the close pack out for now, just so that it boots up quicker. Just bear with me a sec, guys. Apologies. Just copy those out. And then what we'll do is we'll minimize this, copy this. Does look a bit confusing what I'm doing at the minute, but it's not. And then what we'll do is we'll paste it in there, take these out. I really need to get my dev server sorted. Put these over it. Dynamo imports, we'll rename that to Dynamo imports 1, just for naming purposes. Then what we'll do, we go back into the server's root folder, double click on that, and then we'll boot the server up, and then we'll go back to the dev console. Just wait for it to boot up. It should automatically pick up the resource once it's done, because it started the resource there. I need to actually get rid of the other vehicles in here as well, because it slows it down a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to Speed up a little bit. Oh, trust it to not work when I'm trying to show you how to do it. Right, that should be booted up. So now what we do is we go into FiveM and we'll double check to make sure the cards are all working. A 10-minute video turns into a 15-minute one. And then what we do is we load up from localhost, whatever your PC is called. It'll switch over to the build of FiveM that we're using for my dev server. Just close this, double check to make sure that it's loaded. We'll do a tutorial on how to get a dev server set up as well with the basic default framework as well. Just double check to make sure the resource is loaded. Dynamo_imports. There we go. That is loaded. Just waiting for it to load in. It's been a bit slow this morning. A bit like me. It's loaded me in, so. Just give it a reboot quickly, 1 second. Right, that's better. Couple of technical issues, but it should be alright now. It's loaded us into the queue. Probably because I was messing around with the resources whilst it was loading and messed it up a little bit. It's never normally this slow. Don't know what's going on with it. Oh, I know what's going on. I know what's going on. I'm an idiot. First of all, when you're running your server, make sure you got XAMPP running, because my SQL wasn't turned on. That was the issue. It's a bit silly. Right, let's just give it a quick reboot. There we go. Should definitely be able to connect to it now. There we go, we're loading in the server. Decent. Rule number 1, remember to put your database on when you're loading your dev server. Shouldn't take too long to load in the server. Remember, if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll be giving out more tutorials about GTA content in the next couple of videos as well. Just make sure we double check these cars to make sure that they fully work. W/car SC20. There we go. Look at that. Quite a nice little car, that one. Not bad, not bad. Right, that's that one working fully. No issues with any of the vehicle. just make sure you double check the 3D files as well, because sometimes the wheels can hang off and stuff like that. If you do get that, all you've got to do is just re-extract the files, because sometimes it's a bit funny. And sometimes they'll crash, so you have to obviously go into the handling file and make sure that the stuff works. Let's just grab the folder for the BM Golf R. Let's double check to make sure that one's working as well. It'll be alright if I spelt it correctly. There you go. So that's the two cars that we've just downloaded straight from GTA 5 mods. We've converted the Golf over to the latest FX manifest. Don't no longer use resource lures. We've packed it with the other car, and that will keep your resources down. So it keeps. Normally you used to have to run the resource per car, but if you pack them, it's one resource, and then you can run multiple cars. I'd always recommend 15 to 20 cars in a pack, but technically you can put as many in a pack as you want. So that's it. Until next time, I'll see you in the next one. See you later.